You're welcome to another video of YANG-based network automation using netconf, restconf, and GNMI. In this section, we will configure network devices based on jinja2 configuration template in restconf protocol, and unlike the previous section, we will use jinja2 template features like variable substitution and looping logic. This is a figure that shows how jinja2 template works. In addition to inventory files that list network devices, there are three other components to automate network device configuration. A configuration template through which we configure many network devices, but each device with its own configuration data. In other words, with jinja2 configuration template, configuration of many network devices will be converted to a single configuration template using variable substitution, conditional, and also looping logic. This is the OSPF configuration in the format of JSON that we have used in the previous section. I've replaced the configuration data with the variables and also added looping logics here and here to match the OSPF configuration of many network devices. In the course CLI-based network automation, lesson 24 and 25, we have already discussed how to prepare jinja2 configuration template. In this course also, we implemented already jinja2 template in netconf protocol. In addition to jinja2 configuration template, for each device, there is a configuration data file in the format of YAML in which keep the data specific to that network device. In this example, for each device, the data related to the OSPF configuration, including process ID, router ID, networks numbers, and area numbers are stored inside the YAML-based configuration data. And finally, automation script. In the automation script, first we load data of each network device using load YAML task. The loaded data will be stored in a dictionary with the name of the device and a key. The key here is hdata in our example. Then we load the configuration template. The configuration of each device is extracted from the configuration template with replacing the variables with loaded specific data. The variable start always with host.hdata. Host keyword is always fixed. Hdata is the name of the key in the dictionary structure that we have used here in our example, into which each device data is loaded. The other part of the variable structure is extracted from the YAML file structure. For example, host.hdata.ospf is pointing to the root of OSPF in YAML data file. The variable host.hdata.ospf.process_id points to the process ID of the OSPF inside the YAML data file. And finally, the configuration, which is stored in the payload, will be applied to the network devices using request.put command. These are the components that we have talked about. The automation script itself is the file 13.8, in which we first load the configuration data using load YAML, and then we will load the jinja2 configuration template, and we will prepare the payload, and finally we will apply the configuration or the payload to the network devices using request.put command. And inside the hostvars folder, you can see the configuration data of each network device. For router R1, this is the This is the OSPF configuration of router R1, the data of the configuration related to OSPF. And finally, inside the template folder, again, OSPF jinja2 template. This is the jinja2 template that will be used to be applied to the network devices, but with replacing the variable from the configuration data and parsing the for logic. If we run the script with Python 3.13.8, you can see in the output that OSPF configuration in the Json format for each device is extracted from the jinja2 template. It is done with replacing the variable and parsing loop logic in the configuration template. But we receive the response for 100, which means the configuration is not successfully applied to the network devices. To see what's the problem is, I push the final configuration directly to the network devices and found that in the list of networks, there should not be a comma on the last line. Unfortunately, I could not find the solution for this problem, that in the list, the last line does not include a comma at the end. Just to check it together, I will copy the final configuration generated in the format of JSON in the template. And run the script again. We will receive the same error 400. But if I remove the comma in the list at the last line and run the script again, we will receive the success message. How we can write jinja2 OSPF template that it does not include comma in the last line in the list. It is the problem that I didn't find any solution for that. If you find it, please inform me of your solution.